Well, good afternoon and welcome to Chappie Field here inside Anderson Stadium, home of the Providence College Friars, as they get set to take on the Creighton Blue Jays in a critical Big East men's soccer game. I'm Mike Mancuso. Glad you could join us from the capital city in the Ocean State. It's a beautiful fall day in Providence with two teams locking up, looking to secure a spot in the Big East tournament. We'll take a look at the standings so far coming into today's game. You'll see Creighton, Providence, and Marquette all locked in a three-way tie for third place. So these games so critical heading down this final stretch with each team having only 3 games left in the season. When we look at this Creighton squad, one of the men that has stood out the most so far this season has been Luke Hawkinson, the senior from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Comes in as the team's leading scorer, 5 goals and 2 assists, including 3 game winners against Nebraska, Omaha, Columbia, and most recently against DePaul. The goal against DePaul ended a 432-minute scoreless streak for the Blue Jays that went back to September 28th. And according to his coach, he's a strong, fit player. His teammates really feed off his energy, and he's so dangerous in front of the goal. On the other side of the pitch for the Friars, they've been led by one of their senior captains from Portugal, João Serrano. Their leading scorer with 4 goals and 4 assists so far. Gets most of his points from set pieces, and according to his coach, Stewart, deadly and effective in those moments. He's done it for 4 years, a tremendous leader and fierce competitor, and basically like having another coach on the field. So it should be a good one from here in Providence. We'll be back shortly with the starting lineups and the opening kick right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
And we welcome you back to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium, home of the Providence College Friars. The starting lineups have been announced, the national anthem has been played, and we are almost set for today's Big East men's soccer game. Creighton Blue Jays at 7-5-1, 3-3-0 in the Big East. coming off a dramatic 1-0 win over DePaul in their last outing, as Luke Hawkinson ended a 432-minute scoreless streak. We'll take a look at the starting lineup, and definitely some changes in the lineup for head coach Johnny Torres, as they are without both of their starting outside backs today. Yunus Badati picked up his 5th yellow card in the game against DePaul. He did not make the trip, and Musa Congo not healthy enough to start after going down injured towards the end of that DePaul game. In between the pipes will be Paul Cruz, the Big East second teamer for the Blue Jays, and on the other side for the Friars, no real big surprises. However, Kevin Vane getting the start today up top for Providence in place of Davis Smith. And those two have interchanged a little bit throughout the course of this season. Of course, Austin Avisa has played nearly every minute in goal for the Friars. He'll be in net again today with a .88 goals against average and a .714 save percentage, as Craig Stewart tries to keep his team on the winning track. Friars off a 2-0 win over Villanova. Craig Stewart happy with their play. It's been a lot of games, though, in a short amount of time, having had the Marquette, DePaul, Villanova, and now the Creighton game all in a very short period. So hoping his guys are fresh. They've been working on the rejuvenation process over the last few days, especially since that midweek game against Villanova. And, of course, his counterpart on the other side, Johnny Torres, realizing that this is an important game for them as well, as we get a look at Austin Avisa, the redshirt senior from Medway, Massachusetts. Started his career at UConn, played some ball at Syracuse as well, and now suiting it up for the Friars. And there's Coach Torres hugging that post, as his team will play shorthanded again in terms of total personnel. 4 season-ending injuries already for the Blue Jays this year, and now without their 2 starting outside backs here this afternoon. Friars will be advancing from left to right across your screen here in the first half. The home whites with gray striping and black numerals. Creighton and their traditional royal blues with white numerals will be advancing from right to left. Friars trying to lock in the Blue Jays early on, as moved back to one of those back positions today has been Yudai Tashiro. Spends a lot of time up front, but today moved back to the back line as we have our first foul of the game. It'll go against the Blue Jays. Setting up a restart here for the Friars, Ramsey Kawasmi. We'll get things rolling along in the first minute of action. Glad you could join us here on the Big East Digital Network. The 13th all-time meeting between these two teams in men's soccer action. The all-time series tied at 5-5-2. The last 2 regular season meetings, 0-0 draws. And back in 2016, the teams met 3 times. The Friars knocking Creighton out of the NCAA tournament on their way to the Elite 8. We have a goal kick upcoming now for Paul Cruz, a sophomore out of Germany, the preseason Big East goaltender of the year. Missed some action early on due to injury, and that has really been a theme for this Creighton squad all season long across the board. The fact that they are in a 3-way tie for 3rd place coming into this weekend speaks volumes about their depth, their personnel, and their coaching. And they will be put to the test here this afternoon against a very gritty and tough Providence team that has played well here at home. 6-2 on the season are the Friars. Creighton on the other side, 1-3-1 on the road coming into today's contest. They'll lift it up ahead, trying to target Jake Ashford. Serrano there to turn it back the other way. And now Hawkinson will drop it back as it comes inside, turned aside by Serrano. He'll find Espen Wolf. Wolf, the Big East freshman of the week, back on October 14th. Has been a solid addition to this edition of the Friars here in 2019. Espeleta lays it up ahead. Hawkinson now will hold. Tried to lift it through. Kawasmi there to turn it away. Now Serrano back towards midfield for Danny Griffin. And Griffin couldn't quite handle the pass. Danny Griffin, who had the game-winning goal against Villanova earlier this week, leads the team in total shots with 33 on the season. Thiago Mendonça now trying to dance past his last defender, but couldn't quite get it around. But he was held up that time by Connor Ramlow, the senior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And this gives the Friars a free kick in a very advantageous spot. This is one of those areas where João Serrano is so dangerous. We'll take another look at the foul in question, and there it came. Ramlo just kind of holding up Mendonça. So Serrano and Paulo Lima will hover over the ball, looking at currently a 4-man wall for the Blue Jays as Paul Cruz tries to get his men set. The official now will scoot them back a little bit more as he enforces the full 10 yards. Magic spray comes out to mark the line. And Serrano and the Friars a chance early on, and that one's saved by Cruz. And Serrano lifted it over the wall, but Cruz there waiting behind. Quick outlet pass now for Toshiro. And around it goes for Rodeberg. Now from the back, it'll be worked by Bryce Gibson, one of the captains from Lee's Summit, Missouri. Stolen away, though, by Kevin Vang. Plays it through, has Griffin on the run. Griffin at the top of the box. I'll work it to the far side now. Leaving it back for Vang. Wolf joins the fray. Back for Vang once again. Now Serrano. He'll left foot it into the box, a little too deep. And last touched. It looked like it was last hit by Toshiro, and in fact it was. Creighton clamoring for a goal kick, but certainly looked like Toshiro had the final touch there over the end line. So the first corner kick of the day will belong to the Friars here in the 5th minute of play. And it'll be João Serrano heading over to take it for Providence. Serrano does have the capacity of putting these directly in. Just ask Butler. Did it a couple weeks ago. Bent it right inside the near post. Serrano now lays it across, punched aside by Cruz, and on to the foot of Cameron Briggs. Quickly ahead now, here's Kuba Polat. He loses it to Griffin. Griffin now looking through for DeVoke. Knocked back up by Roneberg. Paulo Lima, soft touch for Wolf, gets it back. And now Troston pushes it forward. Looking through, and Espeleta the target that time for the Blue Jays, but Avisa sharp and ready at the top of the 18. And will now work his men up the field here. Low line drive punt. Griffin the first touch, knocks it back from Malcolm Duncan. He'll be put under by Hawkinson, but able to lift it ahead. Has DeVoke in the corner. DeVoke with plenty of space to work with. Into the 18. DeVoke has it rejected by the defender. Now leaves it back. Roman the shot, and that one saved by Cruz. It's Christopher Roman coming in at the top of the box there. Just couldn't get enough on it to beat Cruz. Again, Cruz, one of the best goaltenders in the Big East. Take another look at that last play. The left-footed shot, little worm burner that time from Roman, but easily saved and held on to by Cruz. Here's Ashford now with some space, working against Kawasmi. Tries to get to the top of the box, and Lima with an untimely foul right at the edge of the 18. A very dangerous spot to pick up the foul there. Paulo Lima putting his team in a tough spot here. Will be just outside the 18 for Creighton. And what will be their first excellent opportunity of the match. Looks like a couple of Blue Jays will talk things over. Toshiro over there. You can see how far back that wall is going to have to go for the Friars. Avisa staring into a little bit of sun as well. The sun going down here in Providence. And I could speak to that glare as well. I was facing it earlier before the game. Shot from Toshiro's in! What a strike from Yudai Toshiro. And the Blue Jays strike first here. And again, you go back to that foul by Lima. That one extremely costly here. Take another look. Bent it right in the corner. Avisa could barely even move. And Yudai Toshiro strikes for his 3rd of the season off the free kick. Comes in the 8th minute here in the first half. And now the Friars already up against it in the early going, but plenty of time left as they earn another corner kick. This time it looks like Danny Griffin will head over to the far side to take it. Well, again, what a strike from Udai Toshiro. As the goals that had been so hard to come by for the Blue Jays, until Hawkinson finally broke the 432-minute streak on Wednesday night. So here's Griffin lifting it towards the 18. To the back post it went, last touched by the Blue Jays. So it'll be a Friar corner, and this time it'll be Serrano from the near side. As that last bid from Danny Griffin completely eluded everybody. Took a slight little deflection off a Creighton player. To the near side corner now for João Serrano. Already the 3rd corner of the game for the Friars. One of the national leaders in that department. Punched aside again by Cruz. And it'll be a Providence throw for Espen Wolf. He's going to wait this time for DeVoke. DeVoke does have a long toss, so no real surprise there for the Friars to set things up. They'll bring Roman up as well. Try to send numbers forward here in the early going. Headed aside by Ronneberg. And now Troston with some pace. Griffin able to win it back, and now Serrano leaves it back for Avisa. Touched out of play that time by Cameron Briggs. Friars quickly off the heel of DeVoke. And that'll trickle down towards the corner. It'll be reset this time by Bryce Gibson. Lima wins it in the air for Vang. Now Serrano will leave it all the way back for Kawasmi. Kawasmi squares it off for Duncan. And now Duncan lifts it forward for Mendonça. Mendonça on the run into the 18 it goes, and knocked out of play by Ramlo. And it'll be a throw for the Friars. DeVoke will trot on over once again. And Creighton striking first here this afternoon. Udai Toshiro in the 8th minute off a direct kick just outside the 18. The difference so far. Roman leaves it back. Here's DeVoke into the 18 and out of play over the net. A little bit of a miss hit that time from DeVoke. But they're going to say deflected off a Creighton player. So another corner kick, the 4th of the game now for Providence. The field has been pretty much slanted in their favor, but they gave up the one counter, and the foul from Lima led to the free kick strike from Toshiro. Serrano plays it across, this one deep to the far side, and some contact in the 18. It's going to be whistled against perhaps Wolf or Lima. And a restart coming up now for the Blue Jays. And Creighton picked number 2 in the preseason poll, but their lineup has been devastated over the course of the season by injuries, including 4 season-ending injuries. Serrano trying to track it down, pushes it forward for Mendonça. Griffin now, forward for DeVoke. DeVoke gains entry into the 18 and has it knocked out of play again. That'll be another corner kick for the Friars. 5th already here in just 12 minutes of play. As they've kept the field slanted in their favor here. Continuous pressure on Creighton. Again, Creighton without its 2 starting backs, Yunus Badati and Musa Congo. Badati didn't even make the trip because of the 5th yellow card he picked up against DePaul. The automatic game suspension for that. And that one off the head of Roman trickles out for a goal kick. That was just the 18th goal of the season scored by Creighton. And they've only given up 16 to this point. For the Friars, just the 13th goal they've conceded all year long. As Yudai Tashiro getting it done. Was the Big East Offensive Play of the Week back on September 30th. Had the overtime game winner against Tulsa. Huge moment for him and the Blue Jays. Serrano taken down that time by Ashford. Lima outlets it over for Wolf. Now back for Avisa. Blasts it forward. DeVoe trying to get ahead to it. Second ball to Ronneberg. Now outside for Briggs. Cameron Briggs. As he works it up through Ashford. Now Wolf plays it for Mendonça. Mendonça over for Vang. Christopher Roman. Looking for some options and is forced to go all the way back for Duncan, and he now plays it back for Kawasmi with Avisa. Moving towards the far side of the box. João Serrano now stared down by Ashford. And a long through ball is going to be handled by Cruz at the top of his box. He'll slide it over for Connor Ramlow. And D to D they go. Fake that time by Gibson as he knocks it ahead. Nobody really there for the Blue Jays as Avisa comes out to play it. Quick rollout for Duncan. And again, Creighton doing a nice job of pressuring the Friar backs and midfielders on their own third of the field, and that was something Coach Torres talked to me about. Wanted to really press up top and force errors on his opponent's back line. Danny Griffin now trying to spin out of trouble. Leaves it for Serrano, who joins the fray. Little chip into the 18. Griffin on the run. Plays it across Mendonça. His shot blocked. DeVoe's shot blocked. The bicycle blocked as well. Oh, a couple of chances there for the Friars as Vang comes crashing in and obliterates Trostin. Trostin a little bit shaken up on the play as Vang came in hard and heavy, but Friars with a whole bunch of chances here. Let's take another look. Mendonça's first shot blocked, then DeVoe's, then the bicycle, and headed away by Gibson. Heads up play by the Creighton captain back there today. As Mendonça, the opportunity of the game thus far for the Friars. So after the foul on Vang, it'll be a restart here for Paul Cruz. Trostin seems to be okay. Senior from Norway. Ramsey Kawasmi now will survey the scene, leaves it over for Duncan. Malcolm Duncan trying to find DeVoe, but Tashiro there to intercept. Squirts out over to Kuba Polat out of Germany. Now Trostin once again for Polat. Friars turn them aside. Charging up, though, was Ronneberg to keep it alive for Creighton, and then Roman forced to knock it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Blue Jays. Back it comes. Ronneberg. Now Roman. Off of Mendonça, now DeVoe. Plays it ahead for Vang. Has Wolf making the run on the far side. Briggs will have to trail him. Espen Wolf now. Couldn't get around Briggs that time. Nice defensive stand by Briggs. Trostin off of Serrano, and Polat comes back to play it. All the way back for Cruz, and he'll just smash it towards the far sideline. Lima in the air, wins it for Vang. He settles it back now for Serrano. Friars knock it back for Kawasmi once again. They'll reset on the back line now with Duncan. Malcolm Duncan. DeVoe letting it ride. Roman trying to give chase, and it's going to stay in for the moment. And Roman doing a nice job of knocking it off the defender that time, earning the throw in deep in Creighton territory. Christopher Roman, the sophomore from Glastonbury, Connecticut. It'll lead to another long throw in here for Trevor DeVoe. Redshirt senior out of Medway, Massachusetts. His first year with the Friars after a good career at Boston College. Vang trying to keep it alive. Griffin the shot, and that one blasted up and over everything. Danny Griffin, and a senior from Wethersfield, Connecticut. 11th start of the season for him today.
She's okay. She had plenty of time. She took it.
She's going to make it the 15th start of the season for Griffin today. Up ahead it comes from Paul Cruz. And Mendonça getting tangled up with a couple of Blue Jays, and they're going to say that he swung his arm out. Quick restart here for Tashiro, but his pass right to Lima. Mendonça now the other way for DeVoke. And back it goes for Roman. Again, good pressure up top by Creighton. Providence trying to drop it over the defense, but headed back by Ramlo. And it'll trail out of bounds for a Friar throw. Roman swings it over to the far side for Serrano. Gets Trostin to dance by him. Into the box, Mendonça got a touch. Now trying to work from the end line. Leaves it back for Roman. Roman has Vang checking to him. And now they have Mendonça once again. DeVoke just on the edge of the 18. Plays it across and knocked aside. Here's Bryce Gibson again. Here's Vang. Mendonça lifts it ahead. Vang on the inside. The shot. And again, deflected off the Creighton defense. Nice passing in tight quarters for the Friars, but unable to get it on frame again. Look at the slick little touch here from Mendonça. Just a little chip. Vang getting in, and then the last second stretch of the leg by Gibson to knock it out of play. Corner kick number 6 for the Friars. This time it'll be short. Serrano then hits it towards the far post. Mendonça, the header, yes, over the net. Would have been a tough angle to score from with Cruz in net. Tricky little corner that time by the Friars. There's the chip from Serrano, and Mendonça was just getting knocked off his axis as well. Made it for an even more difficult play for the talented senior from Faro, Portugal. The goal kick now for Paul Cruz. So first sub of the game, Nico Engelking out of Würzburg, Germany. Trostin comes out for the Blue Jays. Here comes the cross, Serrano, but once again, Cruz reading it well. Nearly stepped out of the box that time, did Cruz. As he was looking for a quick outlet. This time we'll drop it ahead for Tashiro. Nice one touch ahead for Hawkinson. Duncan, though, able to step in front. Roman has it knocked away by Hawkinson. And here's Roman now with the throw for Providence. Danny Griffin settles it for Roman. Has to go all the way back for Duncan. It's Engelking moving, and now drops it back for Kawasmi. To the far side it goes, Serrano. Vang now, looking over his options. Has DeVoke. Nice step that time by Cameron Briggs to break up the attack. Quickly in for Vang again, spins out of trouble, now switches the point of attack, has Roman. What a great ball from Vang that time. The vision to go with it. Duncan now. Nice job to get his man moving. Vang to the outside for Serrano. Friars getting numbers forward. Cross comes in towards the box. Roman knocked off the play that time. Just checking back was Dominic Briggs. Briggs who had come in to replace Ashford at that last substitution as well. As Trostin and Ashford both leaving the match with Engelking and Briggs. So now both Briggs twins out there. Cameron and Dominic. High pop fly headed away by Mendonça. Comes out of the pack with it as well. Stood up though by Toshiro. Toshiro. And Blue Jays work it all the way back to Gibson, and now Cruz. Cruz floated it towards midfield, but the Friars able to get to the first ball. Second ball though to the Blue Jays. And now all the way back again for Cruz. Another high pop-up, handled by Lima. Roman trying to catch up with it, and does, but then Toshiro able to steal it away. Toshiro playing it through. Kawasmi almost lost it in the sun. Engelking trying to free up that right foot for a shot. Hawkinson tried to flip it back. And now Vang the other way. Big cut. Now has Mendonça. And he'll leave it wide for Roman. Duncan will reset. Squares it off for Kawasmi. They complete the change of attack to the far side. Wolf now was looking through, but a little too central and too deep. Easily handled by the feet of Cruz. Oh, tough pass there for Toshiro, but was able to get it over to Gibson before he was closed in on by Danny Griffin. To the corner it goes, or was attempted to go, but Roman a nice job to knock it the other way. Serrano has DeVoke. Wolf making the overlapping run. He'll get it. Wolf now crosses it. Nobody home for the Friars. Toshiro smashes it towards midfield. Hawkinson lays it off for Polot. Polot targeting the corner, has Dominic Briggs on the run. And Roman able to get there first, but he'll stay with the Blue Jays. A couple minutes past the midway point of this first half. 1-0 Blue Jays. Yudai Toshiro in the 8th minute off a direct kick right from the top of the box and into the corner of the net. It's a brilliant strike for Toshiro. Really give Creighton a nice boost early on. Back it goes now for Polot. He'll swing it across to the middle for Gibson. Hawkinson now trying to get away from Lima. Ronneberg up there, but lost the handle. Gibson stepping up again. Gibson, a big boy at 6'5". It's been a thorn in the side of the Friars here so far today. Hawkinson shot blocked by Serrano. Mendonça sends it sky high. Griffin trying to get the touch. Plays it ahead, but under the foot of DeVoke. And now Gibson once again. Leaves it wide for Briggs. Wolf, a nice step up this time. Friars just offsides. And what a heads-up play that time by Connor Ramlow. Saw DeVoke breaking on the run. Held up just enough to put him a step offsides. Great defensive work there out of the senior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Trapping the Friars offside that time as Cruz now leaves it off for Ramlow. Again, a different defensive look for the Blue Jays. Budati out with the 5 yellow cards. Musa Congo injured late against DePaul. He did not start either. He did make the trip. Cruz lifts it ahead. Engelking, the initial touch. Lima will settle. Mendonça now for the Friars. Stepping in the way was Ramlow. Toshiro now. The Blue Jays work the near side well. Polot up ahead for Espeleta. Hawkinson now. And all the way to the far side for Briggs, making the run up from the back. Hawkinson now. Looking his options over. Lightly picked up by Mendonça. Gets it back from Briggs. Into the 18 it goes. Was able to find its mark. Dominic Briggs. Gets around Roman for the moment, plays it back across. Hawkinson, the shot, blocked by the defense. I think it was Kawasmi getting in front of that one. Cameron Briggs now. Leaving it for Polot. Wolf chases him to the far side. Serrano now. Trying to find Evoke, but Gibson stepping up into it again. Espin Wolf. Send it back now for Serrano. Kawasmi. Friars now work it through the midfield with Lima. Long ball to the far side. Wolf on the run. Can he catch up with it? Just a little bit too far in front of Wolf that time. Good idea envisioned by Lima. Just the execution. Touch off that time. Let me throw in here for Briggs and the Blue Jays. He targets Engel King. Vang there to break it up. Serrano. And all the way back for Kawasmi. Serrano once again. Looking centrally for Griffin. Now gets it back. Mendonça. Wolf trying to get to that corner. Vang. And the Blue Jays doing a nice job of keeping the Friars at bay so far. Here's Griffin trying to play it across and knocked out for a goal kick. The double deflection that time. Off of Briggs and then off of Griffin. Leads to a Creighton goal kick, but also a chance for the Friars to make a couple of substitutions. They'll bring in Gil Santos and Gage Raftery. Out go DeVoke and Espin Wolf.
Ladies and gentlemen, enter the game.
So it looks like they'll send Raftery out to that spot where Espin Wolf was on the far side, and Gil Santos will be the danger man up top for the Friars. Still looking for his first goal of the season is Santos. Lima tried to leave it off for Roman, was off the mark though to Shiro. Ahead for Espeleta. Soft touch over for Briggs. And Dominic Briggs though, robbed that time by Duncan. And now Lima switches the point of attack through Serrano. Wide on the outside is Raftery. Vang leaves it back now for Duncan. Friars slowly advancing here. The build up from the back as usual. And they have to go all the way back again for Kawasmi. Serrano through Vang in the middle. And get it back. Raftery making the run to the corner. They play it through. Raftery some space, plays it across, looking for Mendonça. And Cruz having to away it with the left foot after the touch from Ramlo. Vang trying to settle in the middle of the field, does so for Kawasmi, now over Serrano. Serrano. That's Santos, now gets it back. Swings it wide for Roman. Roman trying to take his space on the near sideline. Gets to the corner, plays it across. Mendonça the sharp header, but again a tough angle. And pops it over the net. With just over 13 minutes left in half number one. Another change for the Blue Jays now. Checking in. Diego Dutil, a freshman from Santiago, Chile.
Entering the game for the Blue Jays is number
As he replaces Daniel Espeleta.
He replaces number 14, Daniel
Dutil making his 10th appearance of the season. Off the arm of Hawkinson, but play on, says the official. Here comes Briggs. Cuts it back on Roman. Now looking for some help with Polot. Santos has it taken by Tashiro. Polot Switches it for Gibson. Gibson looking for Briggs. Briggs able to get around Raftery towards the top of the 18, into the 18. And Serrano having to shield it away. And getting the deflection off of Serrano. So corner kick upcoming for the Blue Jays, their second of the game. Udai Toshiro will head on over to the far side to take this one. And their free kick specialists, as we saw that on display earlier on his brilliant strike in the 8th minute goal. And the sun at the back of the Blue Jays. And they're going to stop the clock now. And I think they're going to talk about stopping the shenanigans in front of the net. As trying to park himself in front was Jake Ronenberg. Santos trying to keep him away from his netminder, Aviza. Now the kick from Toshiro. Overshoots everybody, but tracking it down will be Polot. Hawkinson trying to cut back, plays it across, and headed away by Serrano. What was a dangerous ball by Hawkinson. Toshiro has it stripped by Raftery. He'll push it ahead, but back waiting was Dominic Briggs. He'll use his twin brother, Cameron. And now all the way back for Gibson. Ramlo. And now Polot. Ramlo decides to go with Gibson once again. Swung wide for Briggs. Dutiel. A battle with Lima. Won by the Friars. Mendonça has Santos beginning the run. A little too deep. Well read by Cruz again. Cruz, one of the best in the business in the Big East. And just a sophomore. Hawkinson's bid rejected. Vang now. Kawasmi. Gage Raftery. Danny Griffin now splits a couple of Blue Jays for Mendonça. Serrano decides to cut it back. And they'll rebuild through Kawasmi. Under 10 minutes to play already in the first half. Glad you could join us here on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi. A glorious day here in Providence in terms of weather. Really couldn't ask for anything better this late in October. To the corner it goes now for Serrano, looking for Mendonça. Gil Santos there, and a miscommunication. And Santos and Mendonça. An opportunity goes by the wayside inside the 18. Kawasmi, the soft header for Lima. He'll settle it for Duncan. Lima leaves it wide for Roman. Now ahead for Santos. Heavy touch, though, stolen away by Toshiro. And they track him back, though, and win it for Kawasmi. Duncan will use Roman. Charging hard was Briggs. And now all the way back for Kawasmi again. Swung wide for Serrano. Serrano punches it forward. Griffin on the run. Has Gibson running step for step with him. Briggs now joining in as well. Griffin surrounded. Trying to work it to Raftery that time. And the Friars unable to do anything with that possession. Hawkinson and the Blue Jays now the other way. Dutiel trying to catch up with it. Keeps it in play on the far side. Engelking. Initially stopped by Serrano. Now Griffin trailing back. He has it stolen by Dutiel. Briggs. Works into the box. Shot takes a deflection off a defender, but into the arms of Aviza. Dangerous moment there for the Friars. So here's that last move by Briggs. The shot A little bit of a deflection. You saw the slight hesitation from Avisa, but able to gobble it up. Lima now has Roman. Gil Santos has it kicked away from him by Tashiro. And the Friars will make a change. Davis Smith enters the match. 3 game-winning goals for Davis Smith, a 6'7" junior out of Amherst, Massachusetts. Game winners coming against UMass Lowell, Sacred Heart, and Marquette. Friars looking for the equalizer here. 7 minutes to go in the first half. Raftery cuts towards the 18, plays it across off of Smith. Griffin charging hard, couldn't get there. Raftery trying to track down the second ball. He does. And now we'll leave it back for Kawasmi and Serrano. Smith. Raftery now, again Serrano. Vang leaves it off for Raftery. Trying to gain the corner. Plays it across, lifting up. Santos couldn't quite get it. Roman inside the 18. And good defensive work out of Dominic Briggs, able to get the deflection off of Roman for the goal kick. Friars have certainly had more dangerous moments throughout this one, but they still trail after the 8th minute goal from Udai Tashiro. Cruz. One in the air by Santos. Ramlo's second ball right back to Santos. Here's Davis Smith. Has Vang. Vang gets around his man. Continues to take space. Now Roman. All the way back for Duncan. Again, the sun glare pretty tough right now, as you can see the hands going up for players like Avisa and Kawasmi. Sun setting behind the goal of the Blue Jays. Will affect them in the second half. Here's Vang. Danny Griffin cutting through. Has Roman. Roman into the 18. Plays it across. Davis Smith sliding in for Santos. The shot. And that one's going to be wide and knocked out by Tashiro. Friars just couldn't get the finishing touch. Serrano now plays it ahead. Cruz in the big collision with Smith, and that's going to be a foul on Smith. Cruz taking exception, and Tashiro, who's about 1.5 feet shorter than Davis Smith, getting in between the two. And the official will tell Smith to just chill out a little bit there. So it'll be a restart here for Paul Cruz and the Blue Jays after the collision with Davis Smith. Wasn't too egregious on the part of Smith, but certainly something that needs to be called. Consistent with calls made across the country. Here's Lima winning it in the air after he battles with Ronneberg. And they'll get the foul on Ronneberg with just over 4 minutes left here in the first half. Malcolm Duncan now. We'll use Lima as they go back and forth. Friars gaining space on the near side. Griffin run down from behind by Briggs. Gets it back. Roman plays it for Lima, and all the way back now Duncan. Kawasmi. Chased by Hawkinson. Paulo Lima. Continues it forward. Punches it ahead for Santos. Gil Santos working against Duty. Oh, nice spin move to get around him and create some space. Into the 18, off the head and in! Oh, what a goal by Christopher Roman on a brilliant feed from Gil Santos. And the Friars have tied things up at 1 apiece. Christopher Roman, who's been snake bitten all season long, finally hits pay dirt in the most critical of times. Well set up by the Friars. Again, we'll take another look. Here's the cross from Santos. And a perfect header again by Christopher Roman. Cruz really no chance there. And the Friars with new life here after knotting things up in the 42nd minute. First goal of the season from Christopher Roman. Here's a look from the back angle. Beautiful shot. Cruz has great reaction time, but not enough that time to catch up with that one from Christopher Roman. So a much needed goal for the Friars before the end of the first half. We'll see if either team could strike for another here. Time after goal is always so critical. Santos trying to fight back for it. Comes back now for Kawasmi. Jal Serrano now. We'll see how aggressive the Friars get in the closing minutes of this first half. Again, that sun definitely a factor. It's played ahead now, Serrano. Centrally for Griffin. Griffin with some space. Continues to take. Has Santos wide. Santos cuts in. The shot bent in and just around the post. Gil Santos nearly bags his first goal of the season. What a bend Santos put on that shot. Cruz was almost frozen. Here's another look. Space at the top of the box. Santos targets that corner and wouldn't have been much Cruz could have done on that one. The Friars just miss taking their first lead of the game. Not bid from Gil Santos, who's come in as a little bit of a spark plug for this Providence attack here this afternoon. Lima. The fancy move to knock it down. Friars on the attack again. Davis Smith heads towards the top of the box. Santos. And now Griffin leaves it for Roman, who's open. Roman at the top of the box for Duncan now. Joins the attacking third. 100 seconds to go here in the first half. Lima finds Raftery in the corner. Now Serrano, the one-touch cross. Griffin got ahead to it, but was met by Gibson as well. And just over a minute left here in the first half. Friars not taking their foot off the gas here. They've outshot Creighton 12-5 to this point. 3-2 in terms of shots on goal, but certainly a healthy amount more of offensive chances and scoring opportunities have come the Friars' way against this undermanned Creighton side. Left back now, Gibson. The Friars continuing the press up top. Creighton looking for one last push up the field. Lima there to break it up. Gibson sends it right back the other way. Serrano now for Raftery. Raftery. And it's going to go off of Dutiel. The final 30 seconds or so. Vang. Serrano ahead for Lima. Now it's Roman who has the Friar goal. Has it stolen away by Briggs. Final 10 seconds now. Hawkinson.
7, 6, 5,
looking for a little space.
3, 2, 1.
And Dutiel's final blast blocked by Serrano, but the Friars even things up. In the 42nd minute, Christopher Roman matching the goal from Udai to Shiro, and we are knotted up at the break. Time for us to step aside. You are watching Big East men's soccer action right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
One of the positives about the sports business in the last couple of years, and in recent years in particular, has been the growing interest in seeing our industry become a more diverse and inclusive place.
I find it important for us to amplify the voices of those who have not traditionally had a seat at the table. As a Black African woman, my various social identities are always at the forefront of my daily interactions, from my first name, my culture, to where I'm from. So for me, diversity is about us celebrating our uniqueness as a society.
A lot of what happens in terms of diversifying workforce in the college world happens at the campus level. That's really where the core hiring takes place. The schools are responsible for hiring their directors of athletics, their staffs, their coaches. And so the conference is really a step away from that activity, but I think conferences can and should set a tone. And so in the Big East, we have tried to make diversity and inclusion a conference strategic priority. We have, for example, within our conference SAC group, designated a diversity and inclusion officer. D&I has become an important topic of discussion at SAC meetings. And our D&I officer is now included into the conference-wide diversity and inclusion working group that we've created.
I currently serve as the conference's Student Athlete Advisory Committee's Diversity and Inclusion Officer. This position is charged with ensuring that the conference carries out its commitment to inclusion for all. And I assist the conference staff in creating opportunities for student athletes from different backgrounds to come together to share and exchange ideas. I also work closely with the Big East Diversity and Inclusion Working Group.
You know, when I think about diversity, I think about the fact that diversity is a fact. When we think about inclusion, we think about inclusion being a choice. And I think if we can succeed in anything at the Big East is to impress upon everyone how inclusion isn't just a choice but a responsibility.
The Big East is committed to continuing the development of programs and initiatives that support diverse and inclusive environments for our student athletes, coaches, staff, and communities.
And welcome back once again to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium in Providence. We are at the half. Your score 1-1. Already we've got more goals in this game than we've had in the two previous meetings between these two schools in men's soccer. Of course, double overtime, 0-0 draws the last 2 years. But time to look at some of the highlights from the first half here this afternoon, including both goals. Friars would go on the attack early on. Thiago Mendonça trying to fight through a couple of players would draw a foul there. Serrano would have the free kick, but Paul Cruz up to the task for the Blue Jays. Then Trevor DeVoe could work his way inside the 18, leaving it back for Christopher Roman, whose little worm burner was gobbled up by Cruz. Back the other way came the Blue Jays, and here was the silly foul on Paulo Lima. Led to this free kick. A brilliant strike from Yudai Tashiro to give Creighton a 1-0 lead early on, as he was pumped up, as he should be. Friars, though, would battle back throughout the rest of the half. Danny Griffin laying it for Mendonça. Wound up in a bicycle opportunity, but Gibson there to make the save defensively for the Blue Jays. Friars once again would play it into the 18, where Christopher Roman would knock home the equalizer in the 42nd minute of play to bring us to our 1-1 score. Brilliant moment for Roman, who'd been snake-bitten all season long. Friars dominating in terms of total shots, 12-5 through the first 45 minutes. Shots on goal nearly even, however. Paul Cruz made 2 saves to just 1 for Austin Aviza. Fouls little bit slanted on the Friar side, as are the corner kicks. Friars earning 5 corner kicks in the first 5 minutes of the game. And a key offsides on the Friars as well would have led to a breakaway opportunity, but a nice step up by Connor Ramlow prevented that for the Friars. Well, time for us to step aside once again. We'll be back for more here at Chappie Field Anderson Stadium. You're watching the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
When my time came to start coaching, I was very fortunate that I didn't have to go cold turkey. I was able to start the Big East Conference, and we came across the sky like a meteor.
One recruiting year that they had that really turned everything around was the Ewan Mullen Pinckney recruiting year. It changed the face of Eastern basketball probably forever.
We just believed in ourselves and a lot of hard work on everybody's part.
Every March, Madison Square Garden is home to everything that is college basketball.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
What? How's the weather? Yeah. It's snowing out. It's a blizzard, but we ain't gonna stop.
Rightly, there were questions early on about whether the Big East could withstand the test of reconfiguration, and I think if you were here, we've done that and more.
It's a monster league now. Last man standing, bring the flag. Tough to coach in, but great for spectators and great to play in. The March of the Big East goes on.
And welcome back once again to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium in Providence. A couple minutes left in the half, 1-1 your score. And time to look back a little bit at the week that was in terms of men's soccer and the weekly awards. Take a look at the honor roll, and a bunch of Blue Demons there as they came up big against the Friars last week, knocking them off 2-0, a big win. And, of course, some familiar faces from St. John's, Marquette, and Georgetown as well. Again, all the Big East teams in action today, with each team having 3 games left in the season, really trying to solidify that playoff picture. Now we'll take a look at some of the major award winners from last week. Wilmer Cabrera, the talented freshman from Columbia, earning the Offensive and Freshman of the Week honors. Dylan Nealis, of course, of Georgetown, and Gabriel Gergi, a talented sophomore netminder of the Bulldogs, pulling in Goalkeeper of the Week honors this week. As we've talked about for men's soccer, the postseason rapidly approaching. Also for women's soccer and field hockey, postseason tickets are now available for 2 Big East Fall Championships presented by Jeep. For tickets to the Big East Women's Soccer Championship semifinals and final in Omaha, Nebraska, November 7th and 10th, head over to www.bigeast.com/WSOC tickets. And for tickets to the Big East Field Hockey Championship, hosted by Quinnipiac on November 8th and 10th, you can head on over to bigeast.com/FH tickets. So, time for us to step aside one more time. When we return, we'll have the second half from here in Providence. You're watching the Big East on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Back once again to Friartown. A couple seconds away from the start of the second half. Friars with a late equalizer from Christopher Roman in the 42nd minute. Able to match the strike in the 8th minute from Udai Toshiro of the Blue Jays. Again, Creighton certainly hit by the injury bug. 4 season-ending injuries already, and today they are without their starting outside backs, Eunice Bodadi. Budati picking up his 5th yellow card against DePaul in the midweek game. So he didn't even make the trip out here to Providence. And then Musa Congo, who was also injured late in that DePaul game, is here but has not seen any action yet. So it's really been a revolving cast of characters for head coach Johnny Torres. But when talking to him earlier this week, really talked about the resilience of his team. And they've had the injury since day one, but they've been able to stay together in the face of adversity and really remain focused on the tasks at hand, and that another showcase of that here today. But they are on the up and up. They're trying to get guys healthier. Of course, Torres, one of the best players ever in NCAA men's soccer, a 2-time player of the year. Now in his first official season as the head coach at Creighton, Creighton Hall of Famer. Spent 12 years as an assistant, getting things done with the Blue Jays. Friars looking to stay in the upper half of the Big East. Christopher Roman doing his part here this afternoon. Again, critical matchup here in Providence. And then the Friars will hit the road this week to take on Xavier. before concluding the regular season with a immensely challenging game against St. John's. St. John's has been ranked in the top 10 almost all season long. Them and Georgetown have really held the flag up high for the Big East Conference in men's soccer this season. Friars already lost to Georgetown, so Friars in need of the 3 points here today against Creighton, then would need to take another 3 against Xavier on the road in case they should lose that final game on senior day to St. John's. Again, one of the premier programs in the country this year. Friars here in the second half will advance from right to left across your screen. Again, those home whites, gray striping, and the black numerals. Creighton in the road royal blue with white numerals. They'll go from left to right here as the sun starting to dip behind some clouds and buildings, so might not be a factor at all here in the second half as it was in the first half. We'll see how that plays out in the final 45. Blue Jays on the attack here to start things off, as it looks like they've checked in Luke Mitchell into the game. Did not see any time in the first half, but Coach Torres having to go a little bit deeper onto the bench here in half number 2. Around it comes over for Ronneberg. And now Gibson, who single-handedly thwarted a couple of Providence chances, including the bicycle from Thiago Mendonça in the first half. Danny Griffin getting back with Vang. Now they push it ahead for DeVoke. Gibson, those long strides, able to knock it over to Ramlow. And now across for Luke Mitchell, the freshman from Denver, Colorado. Big East Freshman of the Week back on September 23rd. And it comes now for Gibson. Polot takes space in the middle for Toshiro. And Toshiro now moved up into his more natural midfield position. And started the game on the back line as one of those fill-ins for Coach Torres with the unavailability of Congo and Budati. Here's DeVoke, leaving it wide for Wolf. Wolf now a little give and go with Griffin, but broken up by Gibson. Knocked out of bounds, however. It'll stay with the Friars. And it comes for Wolf. Wolf now using Griffin, gets it back. Wolf now trying to slide it across. And we're going to have offsides on the Friars. The Friars wondering how, as it looked like Wolf had slipped in behind the D and then played it back the other way, but perhaps Wolf offsides on the initial pass. And we restart now for Paul Cruz and the Blue Jays. Cruz will lift it up ahead towards midfield. Get a nice day. Game time temps started in the 60s. Oh, maybe dipping towards the upper 50s. Wind swirling around a little bit. Getting a little chillier as the sun goes down. Foul that time on Hawkinson. And the Friars finally restart it for Serrano. Vang now will settle it. Trying to work it with Griffin. Espeleta. And it'll be off the arm of a Friar. So restart now for Creighton. Up ahead it comes. Serrano. Won it for Mendonça. Plays it back to himself, but Toshiro streaking back. Leaves it off for Mitchell. Mitchell now will take space on the far side. Roman there to break it up. And Avisa, the big heavy kick towards DeVoke. Glancing header over for Griffin. Gibson, though, able to push it forward. Espen Wolf. Challenged by a pair of Blue Jays, kept in by Briggs, and then off of Wolf. More Creighton throw. Cameron Briggs. Finally able to get it in for Ronneberg. Broken up by the Friars. Here's Vang. DeVoke. And Vang cuts it back. Plays it through Kawasmi. Now Malcolm Duncan. Lima dropping it further back again, and the Friars will reset. Duncan. Friars content to just knock it around the back line for now. Serrano slid out of bounds that time by Espeleta, a sophomore from San Jose, Costa Rica. And Vang now will drop it back again for Serrano. Centrally now for Lima. Lima hit from behind by Toshiro, lost the handle. Hawkinson now trying to cut back and around Serrano. Kawasmi. Pass broken up by Mitchell. And offsides was Briggs on the far side. He got tucked in behind the Friar D. Avisa. Now Serrano for Kawasmi. Pressure from Toshiro. Centrally it comes Lima, ahead for Vang. Mendonça. Now Duncan overlapping on that far side. Works it through Mendonça. Friars now nearly into the attacking third, but a nice play that time out of Ronneberg. Long ball settled by Kawasmi. No one there to help out Hawkinson. As Lima holds. Long ball looking for Wolf. Wolf on the run. Plays it towards the top of the 18. Polot there. Now Gibson. Briggs. Back for Gibson once again. Forced to smash it up towards the middle of the field. Lima, the initial settle. Off the hands of Hawkinson. And quickly restarted by Lima. Kawasmi. We'll use Serrano. And now Lima continues to take space. He'll switch it over for Roman. Nicely settled off the chest and leaving it back for Duncan all the way through for Kawasmi. Friars continue to probe this Creighton defense. Now find the soft spot in the far side for Roman. Roman plays it across the 18, has Wolf. Wolf trying to track it down, able to keep it in play. Griffin now. Danny Griffin cuts back towards the middle, looking ahead for Mendonça, steps around one, gets around another. Mendonça through the shot, save made by Cruz. Spectacular footwork and control that time out of Thiago Mendonça. But the finishing touch eludes them again. And a nice save by Cruz. Watch the moves here to get around the two defenders. Gets by Espeleta. Then tried to go 5-hole that time. As that one gets popped in towards Cruz for another easy save. Friars now out shooting Creighton 13-5. But only the one goal to show for it so far. Cruz's pass headed by Lima, now settled by Wolf. Serrano ahead for Lima. All the way back for the netminder, Avisa. More pressure here out of Toshiro. Vang working in close quarters, has Lima. Friars get it out of trouble as the Voke lost an edge. Cruz furthers it along for Ramlow. And now left wide for Mitchell. That one will trickle back on for Cruz. Low liner for Toshiro, who's hit from behind by Duncan. Toshiro still down. Play will continue after the 50-50 challenge with Malcolm Duncan. Here's DeVoke. DeVoke trying to split the D. Gibson breaks it up. Under the foot of Wolf. Espeleta turns it off of Serrano for a Creighton throw. Toshiro seems to be okay. So the last thing Creighton would need is another injury. And they're going to scoot. I believe it's Briggs trying to throw it back in. One in the air by Serrano. Popped up again. Toshiro couldn't quite get it. Here's Vang. Out wide it goes for Roman. Kawasmi will settle. Serrano lifts it ahead. Looking for Mendonça. Instead has DeVoke. DeVoke into the 18. Plays it across Mendonça. The shot wide. And the senior's going to wish he had that one back right on the doorstep in a prime spot to put his team up. But pushes it wide of the net. What a ball here from DeVoke. Got the inside position on Briggs. But just tapped it wide with the right foot, did Mendonça. Friars still looking for their first lead of the game. Goal kick from Cruz. Mendonça, the first head. Second touch, DeVoke, knocked away by Gibson. And all the way back for Avisa. Serrano, chased by Hawkinson. Glancing touch from Vang. Now Griffin with some space. Switches it over for DeVoke. DeVoke at the top of the 18, and Cruz all the way out to meet him. The sliding grab. Heads up play by the Creighton netminder on a dangerous ball. Good vision by the Friars that time again to find DeVoke on the outside. Just took a brilliant play from the netminder Cruz to break it up. Hawkinson leaving it for Toshiro. Out wide it goes for Luke Mitchell. Top of the box, Hawkinson the opportunity and lifts it over the net. Hawkinson trying to get his team fired up, and again, his fiery nature, something his teammates do feed off of. Had the huge goal against DePaul on Wednesday night. It's a goal that was a long time coming. Before that goal on Wednesday, hadn't scored since September 28th as Duncan takes down Toshiro. And it's going to be a foul just outside the 18 for the Blue Jays. Right on the corner of the 18. Toshiro taking a look at the foul, and not much of a foul there. Just happened to be two players hitting the ball at the same time, but Toshiro coming flying in with so much pace. They will officially mark off the 10 yards now. The Friars will adjust their wall. Griffin and Vang. Toshiro does have a goal off a free kick, but that one was a little bit more central. This one off the corner. We'll see what the Blue Jays decide to do. Polot there as well. Polot, the step over, the shot from Toshiro, broken up by the wall, and Vang will just knock it ahead. Briggs will reset through Polot. Polot retreats all the way back for his netminder Cruz. He'll push it wide for Briggs. Gibson has Espeleta. Chased by a pair of Friars. It'll be a Creighton throw. Already nearly 15 minutes gone here in the second half. And that one's going to be last touched by Toshiro. And they're going to move the Friars back a touch here for Espen Wolf. Throw comes in for Serrano. And the blue boots of Serrano will play it ahead for Griffin. Mendonça leaves it wide for Wolf. Wolf on the run. Here's where he's at his best. Plays it across, and nobody. Oh, almost a handball in the box. DeVoke couldn't get free, and that certainly bounced up and hit an arm. Creighton catches a break. DeVoke could not pull the trigger there. Here's Vang trying to step around Briggs. Couldn't get it around either Briggs, as both back there defensively. Visa had to pop it towards the sideline with the pressure from Hawkinson, and Duncan unable to keep it in play. Mitchell finally able to toss it in. Tashiro all the way back for Connor Ramlow. Polot has Mitchell. Roman able to get a foot to it. Lima now back for Kawasmi and around for Serrano. Cuts it through the D, has DeVoke on the run. DeVoke step around the D, has Griffin to his right. Plays it through. Here's Danny Griffin now, the opportunity. Top of the box, the shot blocked by Ramlow. Griffin pushed down. Play on, says the official. Mendonça now will leave it back for Lima. Serrano into the attacking third as well for Wolf. Plays it across. Vang trying to step in. Popped out for Serrano again. And he'll reset through Kawasmi. Back across for Malcolm Duncan. Friars will build from the back again. Serrano. It's in the middle for Vang. Now gets it back. Across for DeVoke. DeVoke with some space. Looking to find the space to let it fly. Plays it wide. Has Roman. Can he have two today? Played it off the foot of Luke Mitchell. And it'll be another corner kick for the Friars. Their first of the half, seventh of the game. The Friars getting dangerous here in the second half. Looking for the go-ahead goal. And this is the spot where Serrano put it in against Butler. Off this far side corner kick. Bent it right inside the near post where Udai Tashiro stands currently. Friars out shooting Creighton now 15-6. Will the 16th one find the back of the net? Tried to curl it in. Hawkinson there. Serrano again puts it in. Gibson towards the far touchline. A lot of backspin on that one, but Serrano will wisely let it roll out. We'll see who they let throw it in. It'll probably be DeVoke with the long toss. This one about even with the top of the 18. They'll leave it back for Roman. Into the 18. A chance for Kawasmi, and popped up by Ramlow and out of play for another corner kick. Friars dominating possession here in the second half. Certainly created plenty more scoring opportunities as well. And Creighton shorthanded today with overall personnel, the Cards injuries. The kick from Serrano towards the back post. Wolf charging in, but headed away by Ramlow. Griffin now working against Espeleta and knocks it off of Espeleta for a throw. That'll mean another crossfield jog for DeVoke. Again, both teams in desperate need of the 3 points for this game to stay atop the upper half of the standings. DeVoke cuts in and around Hawkinson, but out of play. Blue Jays are going to have to find some of the magic they had against DePaul in the late stages of that one. It was Luke Hawkinson in the 81st minute on Wednesday night. Goal kick now from Cruz. Mendonça off of Hawkinson. Polot the touch. And now DeVoke trying to work against Gibson. DeVoke able to steal it for just a half second, but Gibson, those long legs, able to get it back. Polot. Espeleta ahead for Hawkinson. Hawkinson, one of the senior leaders for this Creighton side, able to turn it inside for Ronneberg. Toshiro now has the Creighton goal, plays it through. Briggs broken up by Serrano. Ronneberg now will leave it wide. Mitchell, who'd stepped up. All the way back again for Ramlow. To the middle it goes Polot. Ronneberg leaving it for Briggs. Dominic Briggs trying to get around Roman. Roman staying step for step. Toshiro now. Puts it towards the 18, awayed by Kawasmi. Vang for Mendonça. Could set up another foot race here. Espen Wolf with some pace. Has DeVoke. DeVoke now. Towards the 18. Loses the handle and then picks up the foul as well. Frustration foul that time on Trevor DeVoke. See what Gibson decides to go with here. Settled easily by Duncan.
What's his game? Because I haven't seen it. Like, I don't know what
Duncan.
Okay, but we've seen him 13 games this year. More recently.
I'll leave it back for Aviza. Austin Aviza.
I don't know what he's supposed to do.
We say that about.
Like, I feel like I know he can cross the ball.
Kawasmi now. Swings it far and over the head of Kevin Vang. Another throw in now and a couple of substitutions checking in for the Friars. It'll be Gil Santos. Provided a definite spark towards the end of the first half. He replaces DeVoke. And in for Creighton comes Jake Ashford. Checking out Jake Ronneberg.
And re-entering the game for your Friars is number 7, Gil Santos.
Let's see if the Friars can get Santos going again up top.
He replaces number 11,
Had the assist
Trevor DeVoe.
on the Roman goal. It was the first assist of the season for Santos, a member of last year's Big East All-Rookie team. Kawasmi now. Keeps it on the ground for Serrano. Quickly ahead for Wolf. Wolf on the run. Has Briggs with him. Towards the 18, and should be a corner. In fact, it will be. Corner number 9 for the Friars. One of the top teams in the nation at generating corner kicks per game. Well over 6 per contest for the Friars. That'll be Gil Santos with the delivery from the near side.
I was looking at Ryan most of the time, dude.
What?
I was laughing so hard.
Towards the far post, Roman the initial head. Knocked back for Vang. Vang looking his options over, has Wolf. Wolf cuts in towards the box, leaves it off for Griffin, and he's offsides on the play. Defense holding well again for Creighton. Caught the Friars offsides a couple of times now today. As we are past the midway point of the second half, 1-1 your score. It's Creighton in the 8th minute. Udai Toshiro off a direct kick. The Friars with the answer. Christopher Roman, the header from a Gil Santos cross in the 42nd minute. The 2 tallies so far today. João Serrano switches the point of attack, has Roman in stride. Good settling touch. Has Luke Mitchell to beat. That's Griffin now. Griffin trying to wiggle past a couple defenders, plays it across. Wolf almost able to get on the other end of that, but Cameron Briggs turns it aside first. So Friars getting dangerous again here in the second half. Gage Raftery enters the match once again, replacing Wolf. A long throw now. Santos in for Serrano. That's Raftery. Back for Serrano. Cuts back towards the middle. Raftery now to the corner, but a little too far in front of Santos. Misconnection that time for the Friars. They will try to keep Creighton locked in deep. Briggs. A little soft toss, but stolen by Raftery. Vang now with Serrano, plays it for Griffin. Danny Griffin at the top of the box. Fires the shot, and that one hammered above the net. Griffin doing a nice job just creating a little bit of separation that time between himself and the defender, but didn't quite get over the ball on that strike. With under 20 minutes to go, score remains 1-1. Cruz. Another Creighton throw now. Luke Mitchell will be sent back a couple yards. Now the Friars will control. Roman dumps it back for Kawasmi. The Friars very deliberate, methodical from the back. Now ahead for Santos. Santos trying to get to that corner, gets through Mitchell, plays it across, but Cruz, and his big 6'4" frame, able to snag that one out of the air. Lima able to slow down Polat. And now Briggs taps it out of bounds. It'll be a Friar throw. Briggs was looking for help, but nobody there. Paulo Lima. Had a brilliant goal against Seton Hall in the Friars Big East opener. Kawasmi will take his space up the middle of the field before dishing it off for Duncan. Mendonça chips it ahead for Santos. Santos trying to control. Briggs getting back for the Blue Jays. And now Creighton will make a change. Tor Trosten returns, the senior from Norway, as he will replace Dominic Briggs, one of the twin freshmen from Wisconsin.
Ladies and gentlemen, re-entering the game for the Blue Jays is number 7, Tor Trosten. He replaces number 12, Dominic Briggs.
Roman able to knock it down, but right to the foot of Trosten. And Lima taps it out of bounds for another Creighton throw. Mitchell. Broken up by Lima. Toshiro, who's come back off of Mendonça. Lima runs into a little bit of trouble. Toshiro now the other way. And Toshiro, a little bit of contact. Toshiro goes right down. Now the restart over to the near side for Briggs. Gibson will reset. Gibson has it slid away by Raftery. Espeleta couldn't control. Polat now leaves it for Toshiro. Mitchell up towards the 18 and over the net. Shot advantage at 17-6 for the Friars. 4 saves made so far by Paul Cruz. 1 for Austin Aviza. Friars have dominated and controlled most of the second half, but have yet to find the go-ahead goal. As Avisa sends it forward. Roman touches it ahead for Santos, and now Mendonça. He'll switch the point of attack for Raftery. He'll let it drop with Briggs closing in on him. And runs out of real estate on the near side. You see Raftery get a little bit of trouble there when he let it bounce first. Couldn't quite get to that cross directly off the air, and wound up turning into a Creighton throw. Raftery now, chased by Espeleta. Broken up by Gibson and sent up towards us in the press box. That'll be a Friar throw. Michelle Serrano, as the Friars make another change. Davis Smith in, Kevin Vang out.
The game for the Friars is number 9, Davis Smith.
Saw some good moments out of Smith, Santos, and Raftery in the first half when they checked in, as Hawkinson goes down near midfield. Serrano over to comfort him. A couple of senior warriors out there for each respective side. We'll take another look at what happened. Hawkinson slow to get up. It'll be a restart here for Creighton. Hawkinson, a warrior out there for the Blue Jays. He'll remain on the pitch. Into the 18 it comes. Eludes everybody. Luke Mitchell cheating up, but couldn't quite keep it in play for Creighton. It's time ticking away here in the second half. Under 14 to go. Crucial Big East matchup for both sides, who came in tied for third with Marquette. And Georgetown and St. John's far ahead of the pack in terms of the overall standings heading into the weekend. St. John's, who's in second, 6 points away or ahead of the 3 third-place teams. So we have a big foul in the middle of the field. Mitchell taking down Smith. And now Kawasmi and the Friars looking to build again from the back. Serrano. Kawasmi, and we'll reverse it back for Serrano. Some pressure, though, out of Ashford. Espeleta has it deflect over to Griffin. Griffin able to contain possession. Plays it across, but a nice sweeping play by Luke Mitchell. Griffin went down behind the play. Santos trying to get around Trostin. Battles of the 7 across the box and through everyone. It'll be Creighton throw. Cameron Briggs. Again, trying to take an extra 5 to 10 yards there on the throw. Ball will trickle out once again. This time it'll be a Friar throw. Quickly in for Mendonça. All the way back, Kawasmi. Duncan into the 18, looking for Smith, who's held off by Gibson. And Cruz able to grab it cleanly. Little chip over for Mitchell. Turns it up ahead, but right to Duncan. Trostin, though, got a good deflection. Smith will leave it wide for Roman. Griffin now. Cross for Santos. Roman charging through, but couldn't quite catch up with it. Trostin now an opportunity to knock it forward for Polak. Hawkinson knocks it ahead, but Serrano there. A safe answer for the Friars. They'll leave it for Serrano. Just over 10 minutes left here in the second half. Shal Serrano. Able to get around his man Ashford. Off of Toshiro. Friars will regain possession with Griffin. Polott hounding him. And then Hawkinson laying on top of Griffin. Play will continue. Lima. They'll attack the far side again. Duncan. Head for Santos. Steps around Troston. Oh, nice move through the legs. Across into the box. Off Mendonça, back across. They get it in! Davis Smith, the final touch, the finishing blow, and the Friars take a 2-1 lead. The acceleration by Gil Santos on the far side worked it into the box, and Davis Smith has perhaps another game-winning goal. If it holds up, it'll be his fourth. Santos through the legs of Mitchell, across for Mendonça, Santos again, and then the one-touch finish from Davis Smith. As it comes in the 81st minute of play, Smith from Santos. Santos with 2 assists on the day. Here's another look. Here's the move right through the legs of Mitchell. Gains the end line off Mendonça. Santos back across off the end line and in. As the Blue Jays lost track of Davis Smith. So for Davis Smith, that is going to be his 4th goal of the season. Espen Wolf able to slow down Briggs, and now Creighton's going to have to bring the house here in the final 9 minutes and change. They'll try to find the equalizer. That'll open them up to some counterattacks by the Friars. So Davis Smith, 4th goal of the season, assist from Santos and Mendonça. For Mendonça, that is going to be his 3rd assist of the season. Santos' 2nd of the game and of the season as well. 82nd minute, or excuse me, 81st minute for the Friars. Now Creighton will have to press. Polott dumps it forward. And it's going to be offsides or out of play. Already the Friars getting the motions from the officials to keep it moving.
And re-entering the game for the Friars is number 12, Espen Wolf.
So Espen Wolf returns to the lineup as well, replacing Raftery after the goal. A restart for Avisa. Santos flicks it on. It's hit from behind. There's a big head collision there in the middle of the field. Santos
You don't stop the clock that fast, dude.
had the back of his head hit, and I want to say it's Ronneberg. No?
You're nowhere.
Ramlo. Take another look at that last challenge. And oh yeah,
Why did you cut your hair?
head-to-head collision that time. Ramlo kind of on the side of his head, Santos the back of his head. And certainly Connor Ramlo getting the worst end of that. You always have to be so careful with these potential head injuries out there. The training staff immediately out there. The referee on top of it right away as well. Ramlo trying to get up, but I can't imagine they'll let him stay out here right now. And again, injuries continue to impact this Creighton side. Ramlo able to get up, but I can't imagine he'll be able to stay out on the field. It's basically that upper quadrant of his head colliding with the back of Gil Santos. And Ramlo's played well today. Sportsmanship play there. Santos coming to shake it up. So we'll see who will come in now for the Blue Jays. Looks like it's going to be the return of Ronneberg. And I think they're going to do a drop ball. See who's going to actually get the possession here. Santos will just play it down to the corner. So here we go, final 8 minutes, 20 seconds. Friars, the go-ahead goal from Davis Smith in the 81st minute.
Number 27, Jake Ronberg.
Luke Mitchell and the Blue Jays trying to get something going on that far side. Slips through Duncan, and now Serrano will leave it off for Wolf. Briggs on his horse, and Wolf able to turn it upfield, where it's picked off by Polot. And off of, I believe it was Serrano. So the throwing up coming for Polot. Looking to direct people into the box is Polot. Mendonça, the initial header. Griffin settles. And now smashes it into the crowd.
He's aiming for my cousin.
They know.
Time ticking away here for the Blue Jays. And they will stop the clock. I believe they were trying to get another ball down there. Briggs, leave it back. Ronneberg. Espeleta. A wade by Kawasmi, and Roman another touch to knock it further upfield. Mitchell sending it deep. Roman intercepts, gets hit by Toshiro, and that will be a foul on Udai Toshiro. He came in hard into the back of Roman. Roman had the equalizer back in the 42nd minute, his first goal of the season. Now Visa will get ready to put this one back in play. The clock is stopped again with 6:46 left in the second half. Lift it forward. Roman. I'll leave it back for Lima.
Yeah, bro, he came over here.
Malcolm Duncan just over the head for Mendonça. Mendonça, though, offsides. He's claiming no when the ball was passed, but it won't matter what he thinks, as the flag up on the far side from the assistant referee. So perhaps a break for the Blue Jays. Can they take advantage? Polot for Gibson. Smith there. As the Friars, some pressure up top. Santos and Smith, relatively fresh legs, checking in late in the second half. Polot will accelerate toward Trostin, has it nearly stripped away by Santos. Ronneberg forward looking for Hawkinson.
Oh my God! What are you doing?
And Hawkinson absolutely selling the heck out of that one.
Malcolm! Why does he even jump there?
Take another look, and nothing there really. And this a precarious spot, almost the exact spot where we saw Toshiro strike in the first half. It's outside the arc of the 18.
No way!
Don't they have to? Do they not need to blow the whistle? And that apparently is going to count? Wow. One of the stranger sequences you'll see. Was the referee not stopping to make the wall and set the 10 yards? And don't they need to blow the whistle to put that ball back in play? The whistle was never blown to set it back in play. I'm just trying to listen in here to Coach Stewart and the explanation from the official below me. And that is certainly curious. If anything, I guess you credit Toshiro for a heads-up strike. So here we see Griffin is standing next to the ball. The official is starting to talk to him. There's definitely no whistle blown. The wall was being set. I mean, again, credit to Shiro taking advantage of the situation. It's going to go down apparently as an 85th minute goal for the Blue Jays. And then you got to factor in the call that was made initially when Hawkinson flopped down. I think the Friars have a lot to be upset about right now. Well, here we go. 5 minutes and change remaining in the second half.
Blue Jays goal, scored by number 5, Yudai Toshiro.
Toshiro for the second time off a free kick.
Unassisted in the 85th minute.
Aspen Wolf plays it into the 18, knocked up ahead by Gibson. Lima. Now Griffin. Griffin out there with his hair on fire. He is not happy with the situation for obvious reasons. See if the Friars can cook up here in the final 4.5. Santos set for the long toss into the box. Roman, the header, save made by Cruz. With bodies flying around inside the 18. Spectacular save by Paul Cruz, the sophomore from Germany. To keep this one knotted up at 2. Roman dumps it back for Duncan. Troston came with a hard challenge there. Up ahead now for Roman. Roman, can he get around Mitchell? Into the 18, off of Gibson. Mendonça tried to settle. Now Wolf for Serrano. As Wolf once again. Serrano making the run. There the challenge is Ronneberg. Another long throw-in opportunity here for the Friars.
Davis for another one. Let's go. Let's go, Davis.
Santos. This time for Serrano. Pops it in towards the 18. Headed away by Gibson. Duncan. Switches it for Roman. Lima there as well, and off of Lima's head, popped up by Toshiro. Griffin leaves it wide for Roman. Lima trying to target Santos. Santos chests it back for Wolf. Wolf off of Espeleta. And popped out of bounds. Another Friar throw, 2.5 to go. Griffin the chance and slices it wide. And it's actually going to be a throw-in in that far corner. Never crossed the goal line, excuse me, the end line. And Mitchell will come over to take the throw. Mendonça. And all the way back now for Kawasmi. Do the Friars have a magical moment left in the final 100 seconds? Roman over for Lima. Santos. Floats it into the 18. Smith fighting forward, a chance for Roman. Sent back from Mendonça. And now Serrano with Wolf. Wolf plays it across. Lima trying to get there. Griffin the shot. Oh, what a save again by Paul Cruz, denying Danny Griffin of the chance for glory. Cruz, 2 amazing stops in the final minutes. The volley attempt With the touch from Roman and then Griffin slicing it and just getting a hand on it. Cruz. Another corner kick. Serrano sends it in, away by Hawkinson. Griffin trying to track it down. Under a minute to play. Duncan lifts it forward for Wolf. The head on for Smith. Smith off of Ronneberg. And broken up by Duncan. Final 25 seconds. And Briggs floats it ahead. Serrano. Final 11 seconds. Santos.
9, 8.
Trying to cut through. Mendonça. Roman, the chance, the shot! And denied as time expires in regulation. We are headed to overtime for the third straight season. Friars, Blue Jays, knotted up at 2-2. We'll step aside for just a few moments. We'll be back with the first overtime session. This is the Big East on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
One of the positives about the sports business in the last couple of years, and in recent years in particular, has been the growing interest in seeing our industry become a more diverse and inclusive place.
I find it important for us to amplify the voices of those who have not traditionally had a seat at the table. As a Black African woman, my various social identities are always at the forefront of my daily interactions, from my first name, my culture, to where I'm from. So for me, diversity is about us celebrating our uniqueness as a society.
A lot of what happens in terms of diversifying workforce in the college world happens at the campus level. That's really where the core hiring takes place. The schools are responsible for hiring their directors of athletics, their staffs, their coaches. And so the conference is really a step away from that activity, but I think conferences can and should set a tone. And so in the Big East, we have tried to make diversity and inclusion a conference strategic priority. We have, for example, within our conference SAC group, designated a diversity and inclusion officer. D&I has become an important topic of discussion at SAC meetings. And our D&I officer is now included into the conference-wide diversity and inclusion working group that we've created.
I currently serve as the conference's Student Athlete Advisory Committee's Diversity and Inclusion Officer. This position is charged with ensuring that the conference carries out its commitment to inclusion for all. And I assist the conference staff in creating opportunities for student athletes from different backgrounds to come together to share and exchange ideas. I also work closely with the Big East Diversity and Inclusion Working Group.
You know, when I think about diversity, I think about the fact that diversity is a fact. When we think about inclusion, we think about inclusion being a choice. And I think if we can succeed in anything at the Big East is to impress upon everyone how inclusion isn't just a choice but a responsibility.
The Big East is committed to continuing the development of programs and initiatives that support diverse and inclusive environments for our student athletes, coaches, staff, and communities.
And welcome back to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium. 90 minutes in the books. Nothing decided here in Providence. 2-2 the score. Let's take a look at how we got here to overtime. In the first half, Udai Toshiro off the direct kick from the top of the box. Up and in over the wall. Friars, though, would answer late in the 42nd minute. Gil Santos playing it across for Christopher Roman, knocking home his first goal of the season. Then late in the second half, the Friars would strike again. Santos for Davis Smith. Looked to be perhaps his fourth game winner of the season, but after this strange sequence of events. So here's the foul, alleged foul, called on the Friars. And then after a wall getting set up, and the whistle wasn't blown, but apparently didn't need to be blown because it wasn't officially being set for 10 yards, or at least that's what the official, I think, was trying to tell Coach Stewart later on. Toshiro able to take advantage and net his second goal of the day. And for Toshiro, that is his fourth of the season. So we'll see what overtime has in store for us here in Providence. The Friars will be moving from right to left as they did in the second half. Again, those home whites, gray striping black numerals. Creighton in those road royal blues and white numerals from left to right here in the second frame. Roman turns it up the field and out of play. Again, golden goal in NCAA soccer. 2 potential 10-minute overtime sessions. A quick break in between the two, should they go that far. Toshiro and the Blue Jays on the attack here. They'll toss it in for Trustin. And 2 balls on the field, so they'll restart things with the throw. Trustin again, now back for Toshiro. Hawkinson. Can't get around Mendonça. Mendonça able to get through a couple. Can they send DeVoke? DeVoke on the run. Can he outrun Gibson? Trevor DeVoke has Gibson to beat. Tried to touch around him, but Gibson holding strong and then able to draw the foul. And then the frustration foul out of Trevor DeVoke. Just couldn't quite work his way around Gibson, who's played well so far in this one. Paul Cruz now is going to be sent back a little bit further back. With already 90 seconds gone in the first overtime. Cruz. One in the air by Lima. Second ball, Mendonça, but down to the foot of Ashford. Kawasmi blasted forward. Danny Griffin will try to track it down. Gibson the first touch, and the second one hit high for Espeleta. Ashford heads it down to himself, trying to get around Lima. Lima, spinning out of trouble, is knocked down by Ashford. Another look at the last foul. Grabbing the hip of Lima did Ashford. Now spin Wolf. Trying to find someone on this throw. Over for DeVoke. Serrano has to head it back for Kawasmi, and Ashford, another dangerous challenge. Coming in spikes high, and they're going to stop the clock and perhaps have a little conversation with Mr. Jake Ashford, the freshman from Shawnee, Kansas, and yes, he will be booked there for that dangerous play. And take another look. High tackle and stepping on Kawasmi. He's got himself a little bit out of control that time. Now Ramsey Kawasmi will get ready to set it back in play with 7:27 left in the first overtime. Lima punches it forward. Briggs wins the initial challenge. Griffin leaves it for Vang, who checked back in after regulation. Hawkinson has some space. Hawkinson the chance, and in on Avisa. Now the long, low drive from Avisa finds DeVoke. Vang drops it over the defense. Griffin on the run. He's going to have an opportunity. The shot off the defender, Luke Mitchell. It'll be a corner kick for the Friars, their 11th of the game. Take another look at the last ball. Vang just dropping it over the D. Griffin had timed the run perfectly. And then Mitchell able to get the last deflection out of bounds. And Michel Serrano once again from the far side corner. Most likely will be an in-swinger here. DeVoe checks 2. Lays it back. Serrano now. Awayed by Briggs. And out of play for a Friar throw. He'll wait for DeVoe. DeVoe into the 18. Gibson able to sky and get that one. Toshiro knocks it away. Roman now the throw for Providence. Quickly for Serrano. Switches it now for Espenwolf. Tries to split a couple of D, but stopped on the initial chance. And they're going to say the ball was out of bounds. It looks to be another throw-in opportunity here for the Friars. Trevor DeVoe quickly over to take. Here's the toss from DeVoe. Headed away by Ronneberg. Vang trying to settle, has DeVoe. DeVoe into the 18, trying to get to the end line and knocked out of bounds for another corner kick. And Briggs down at the end of the play, which will stop the clock with 4:51 left in the first overtime. It's Cameron Briggs that time giving chase defensively. And they will call for the trainer once again to take a look. DeVoe with the acceleration here. And kind of a weird slide there at the end by Briggs. And looks like he could have potentially pulled a groin or something in that situation, just the way his left leg kind of got caught underneath him on the slide as his coach Johnny Torres looks on. And again, Creighton already so thin on the back line. Be hard-pressed to lose Cameron Briggs in this situation. Coach Torres probably wondering, when is this rash of injuries going to end? They have just continued to pile up over the course of this season. Somehow they've been able to persevere, though, and find themselves in a three-way tie for third and tied up here on the road. You have to figure, with everything going against them, a tie here this afternoon wouldn't be the worst thing for the Blue Jays, as Briggs will have to come off at least for a little bit here. Help for or from the trainer. So checking in will be Musa Congo, who again had gone down with injury against DePaul. And I'm sure they were trying to save him if they could, but forced into action here. As we await the throw from DeVoe. Cruz able to get a fist on it. And actually, that was a corner, excuse me. Serrano now. With Davis Smith back in there as well. He's the target inside the 18. Leaves it for Lima. Lima the shot and lifts it towards Schneider Arena. Just could not position his body over the ball as he rocketed it over the net once again. So now Gibson will get it back in play for Creighton. Flicked on by Espeleta. Gibson again will hammer it down. Malcolm Duncan being put under by Hawkinson, and Avisa able to hold on. Quick rollout now for Serrano. Serrano looking for Griffin. Toshiro takes him down from behind. Now Trostin, some shenanigans with the ball. Things getting a little chippy out here. And a pretty good reason, I'd say. Mendonça. Chopped down by Polot. No call this time. And I think we're going to see something dangerous soon on either side, just the way this one's trending. Here's Vang. Vang ahead for Mendonça. Has Wolf. Wolf for Mendonça. Mendonça trying to turn the corner into the 18. Mendonça plays it across. Gibson there to break it up. Wolf cuts it back to Shiro. Knocks it out of play for another corner kick. Will it be lucky number 13 for the Friars? With 3 minutes to go in the first overtime. Danny Griffin had a well-struck corner on his last bit a couple moments ago. Cruz has been up to the task so far. Into the box, punched away by Cruz. Duncan coming all the way up to meet the ball. Plays it forward for Lima, squares it out for Roman. Into the box. Davis Smith ahead. Lima the chance. The shot is score! Paulo Lima for the Friars with an absolutely brilliant strike. Then Providence wins in overtime 3-2. An acrobatic side volley for the sophomore from Portugal. And Paulo Lima lifts his team to victory here today. A 98th minute goal for Lima and the Friars. And the Friar faithful in a frenzy here at Chappie Field. Nothing Cruz could have done on that one. Phenomenal shot at the end. Let's take another look. The cross from Roman, the head from Davis Smith, and the side volley around Luke Mitchell into the net. It doesn't get better than that. Paulo Lima gets the Friars 3 points here today. And getting the well-deserved hugs. Friars able to overcome the late goal from the Blue Jays and improve to 4-3 in the Big East, 10-5 overall. Creighton drops to 7-6-1, 3-4 in the Big East. We'll step aside for just a few moments. We'll be back with a couple of interviews and to wrap things up from here in Providence. This is the Big East on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
And welcome back to Chappie Field here at Anderson Stadium, where the Friars just came out on top 3-2 in overtime. Mike Mancuso now standing by with Paulo Lima, the hero in this one. And Paulo, things looking a little bleak there towards the end of regulation. What was the mindset heading into overtime?
Well, we were just believing that we could get the win against all odds. We've been working hard. We knew we were going to get the win. We felt it from the beginning. So obviously a goal like that, it's even better.
Now take me through that goal. You had a shot actually a few moments before that went over the net. You probably had to regroup a little bit, but then the side volley, one of the most acrobatic goals we've seen all season long. Take us through that.
It was just in the moment, I don't know. I've been trying that for the past 3 games. Obviously, I'm just happy to help the team.
And now, how important is this victory for you guys? You were tied with Creighton coming into the game for 3rd place and with Marquette as well. 3 points here at home with only 2 games left. How important was that win today?
Obviously really important. Like we had like off games during the season in the Big East, but this game just give us a little breather, so it's obviously good for us.
Awesome. Well, that was Paulo Lima, today's game-winning goal hero. Pretty much going to wrap things up from here at Chappie Field. Thank you for tuning in today on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.